Oh no, and these Hormagaunts over here on the left-hand side messing around with that power node, getting quite mowed down. You can see 4 retreating units there.
They get a very favorable retreat path on that, though, and meanwhile, that leaves Texaneous' power farm completely open. Alwayzlame just recognizing, oh, your truck's up there? That means you're not down here. And really, at this stage in the game, Texaneous would love to have his power farm up by the one, by the node that he's capturing right now, but that early game mobility disparity prevents him from doing that. And so we see he loses his entire power farm in the bottom, and just again in that not very good position right now.
Yeah, that seems like just with the close spawning positions on these bases, that seems like a good enough reason to pretty much always want to get a further away gen farm. I think Alwayzlame had the right idea there. By the way, we do see the Venom Brood up right now. This will go a long way into buffing his ranged army, what with that Synapse, and it's going to be great at taking out the War Truck should they bump into that. But he's got a pretty synergetic army at the moment here, with the Warrior Brood out as well too. Really tough looking army from Always there.
Yeah, Adrenal Gland Warrior Brood at that, so that will help his Hormagaunts out. We are seeing Lifter Alpha trying to take down the Shoot-A-Knob. Did he get it? I'm not quite sure.
I think it loaded into the truck, maybe? That's
what I thought. It did indeed load into the truck in time. It was very tough to tell there. I didn't see a body, so I figured that had indeed loaded into the truck, but stranger bugs have been known to occur.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I guess, you know, what with the trucks just kind of loading the whole squad at the same time, he just kind of teleported inside of it. We can see a little bit of crippling poison going on the War Boss right now as he's trying to take that northern victory point. Just kind of backing away for the time being here. It is currently 2-1 in terms of victory points. Texaneous is up for the time being, though he is way, way, way down in points.
Yeah, he has only 130, and we see these Termagants getting a capture off. And meanwhile, these Sluggas who have been trying to go in and burn down Alwayzlame's near gen farm are taking significant losses on retreat, but the truck is now popping up behind here, trying to do what it can. Ravener Burrow Strike inbound. He's got to get in the truck. He does not get in the truck.
Yeah, Ravener's now firing point blank. We got the Warrior Brood just kind of leaping. It looks like they are damaging the War Truck. Doing quite a bit of damage there. The War Truck obviously sees that coming, is going to load up, try and get out of there. Where are our Venom Brews? They're nowhere to be found. So, oh well, still stabbing away at that truck right now with the Warrior Brood. The Shooter Boy is getting out right now to try and help the Fed, but no, the truck goes down.
Warrior Brood will do that, and they just did. And I believe the Shooters also lost their knob in this engagement. That is a significant blow to Texaneous. He's going to have to rebuild that War Truck. There's just no two ways about it.
We see a little bit of an epic battle going on here up in the north as the War Boss is trying to deal with all of these Adrenal Hormagaunts all over him. Getting backed up finally by his Storm Boys. That's going to be enough. We'll see. I doubt he's going to use Bomba Boys here. I think he's just going to let them go, yeah. And the War Boss does secure that victory point for the time being. But again, he can just barely keep up with Alwayzlame, who is just about to reverse the score again. 2-1 going in Alwayzlame's favor here pretty soon.
Yeah, and we saw the reason, by the way, for the Storm Boys hopping in was that they were trying to get away from that Spore Mine column. That is the other thing. The Lifter Alpha actually is not as mobile as the Ravener Alpha is. The Lifter Alpha is actually not that far behind, having the Spore Mine column to basically be anywhere, anytime, quick response, anti-melee. And, you know, he also has Menacing Visage, and also just a generally quick army compared to most other armies.
The War Boss, he knocked himself down to 4 hit points, taking out that entire Spore Mine squad, and then I believe the Termagants just walked up the hill and shot him once. Unfortunate. An odd choice. He was at a sliver of health, and he went and meleeed down 3 separate Spore Mines. Anyhow, we see a little bit of crippling poison down here in the south as the Slugga Boys upgraded with the Flamers are moving in. Again, I think they have their sights set on this gen farm, but little do they know this gen farm is not that much of a priority right now. Although the Slugga Boys did do a lot of damage to the northern gen farm too, so perhaps
Storms,
that could be, sorry, the Storm Boys, that's what I meant to say.
And we do see that Tex actually has rebuilt its gen farm in the top left here. Or I should just say the left side, actually. If you look at the mini-map, it's just like the straight left.
Good. He's finally got the far-away gen farm. That's what he needs, considering he doesn't even own his natural power node any longer. On the Lifter Alpha, by the way, we do have the Deadly Jump.
Trying to take out that Shoot-A-Knob.
Oh, going for the knob for sure. Using that Deadly Jump right there.
But there are base turrets on this map.
There are base turrets on this map.
Force the Lifter off.
Now I feel like I've never felt like I have to check that before on maps, so that's always an assumption. Oh, Bomba Boy knocking back that Lifter Alpha a little bit, buying some more time, but I think he's going to get away no matter what. No, they're jumping once again, way up ahead of him, but unfortunately a little bit off there. Just going to go ahead and put some damage on the rest of the Tyranid units here.
No, actually, I think they were trying to use the fear of the Lictor Alpha going down to actually go ahead and hit the Raveners or the Termagants.
Yeah, okay.
Models
Gotcha.
was the intent there, but we see again now Hormigaunt's bashing Texaneous' new generator farm. He just cannot be everywhere at once. Even when he had the truck, he still can't be everywhere at once. He can be many places one at a time, relatively quickly, but not everywhere at once as these Tyranids can be. They're just swarming all over the map, and we're seeing that Alwayzlame is going to be able to afford a Swarm Lord pretty soon. And with such close bases, Texaneous is not going to have very much time at all to react to that.
Oh no, the Hormigauns over there on the left-hand side are not going to have nearly as favorable a retreat this time if they try to get out of there. Definitely going to be retreating all the way through, yes, all the way through Texaneous' army here. 2 models left. Oh, they're hopping along here. Unfortunately, it looked like those Slugger boys just kind of walked right past them. They could have maybe got in there and killed off the rest of that squad. Looks like they wanted to put some pressure on this Venom Brood here. But yeah, this is kind of a frustrating game mode for Texaneous because no matter what he does, it feels like 2 of his points are always being capped on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, it is just a very tough situation for Texaneous. You know, very tough matchup on this map. And unfortunately, it's not going to get much better for him. He really needed to do well on Craftworld and Calderis River. He did incredibly well on Calderis River. Craftworld, unfortunately, just did not go his way. And Final Rest was another one where he certainly had a shot here. So, but that's all assuming that, of course, you know, we don't go back to random, which we will, and on a lot of these other maps here, and you know, maybe we'll see that Texaneous will go ahead and get a favorable hero.
Yeah, and this is game 4 of a best of 7, but we are just going to play the whole thing out, kind of no matter what, because we do want to show off the maps. It is currently 2-1 right now. Alwayzlame could very well be going 3-1 pretty soon here. However, all the victory points are neutral for the time being. We can see a combination of Slugger boys and Storm boys kind of capping them all out. Storm boys right now taking a bunch of damage here, doing a bunch of damage as well. Looks like going to chase away all the Tyranid units for the time being here. So Texaneous is still just barely hanging in there, but every single time Alwayzlame gets a majority of victory points, even for a moment or two, he's just bleeding him out further and further. So 73 points right now on the clock for Texaneous, whereas Alwayzlame is at 425.
Yeah, and so we do see that Tex actually had been able to take some, again, the victory point lead, not in terms of actual points, but in terms of what he had captured. But immediately we see already the Hormigauns are just up there capturing whilst Sluggers are off trying to bash generators. Of course, Tex does not realize that at this point generator bashing is going to do almost nothing for him as the Swarm Lord is just about out.
And we have a looted tank on the battlefield for Texaneous as well, but like you said, Swarm Lord coming out there.
Oh, these Storm Boys up top are in huge trouble. If they can't get out, then Tex is just,
oh no, completely enveloped. That's no good at all. And here comes our Swarm Lord friend, just kind of stomping his way out onto the battlefield right now. Swarmlord also getting a little bit of a hit point nerf from 3.14, losing about 300 hit points. Massive, massive attack on the northern side of the map, though. Looks like Alwayzlame is just going to try to dominate this. You can see he's got the whole ranged synapse effect going with that size of his army right there. Going to be double capping right now, and Texaneous down once again, ticking away 2-0, 39 points remaining for Texaneous. It's going to be nearly impossible for him to come back from this.
Yeah, we see probably the biggest issue for Texaneous right now, besides from the Swarm Lord, which is an obvious one. But the other biggest issue here is quite simply that all the capping squads for Tex have been really whittled down throughout the game. And we have this very interesting Swarm Lord Warboss chase here. I wasn't really sure what's going on there. Swarm Lord was trying to catch up to the Warboss to hit him. Warboss was kind of like running away very slowly and somehow not taking any hits. The looted tank here, though, is trying to kite this Swarm Lord. Turns its back to it, though. This could be a little bit of an issue. It is doing quite nice damage to the Swarm Lord, but it has very little health itself. It's got like paper armor. If it gets obstructed by anything like this Lictor Alpha right here is going to block it, but it doesn't matter. It
doesn't matter. He's out of points anyways, so... Oh, man. All right. So game 4 is going to go to Alwayzlame. We'll go ahead and move on to game 5 there. So Alwayzlame up 3-1 right now versus Texaneous. Interesting.